How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to our series where I and my lovely boyfriend
Mwah.
Check out the Marvel Rivals costumes, all the character designs. He's a comic artist, he's an art teacher, he really likes going in on the details of this stuff, as anyone who watched the Doctor Strange video knows, because that was an hour and 10 minutes long. And I loved every second of it. So today, we're moving on from Doctor Strange, from the first four letters of the alphabet, into E, and the horniest character in the game, Emma Frost. All right, are you ready for this?
I don't know, but we'll find out.
All right, here we go.
Whoa. Those are hips that don't lie.
They gave her thighs jiggle physics.
They gave her a lot of things.
This is Emma Frost, one of the X-Men characters. She was the fifth character added to the game post-launch after the Fantastic Four, with the launch of the Hellfire Gala season.
Gosh, you weren't kidding about the horniness of this one.
Yeah.
Someone just like, it was like pestering the art director going, can I make this one horny? He's like, fine, you get one. And they're like, yes.
It's horny by the standards of comic books, which is saying something.
Yeah, my first impression of the outfit is kind of like, reminds me of the magician's assistant kind of outfit, where it's like these big coattails and like no legs, you know, on the outfit. Kind of like a Vegas showgirl kind of thing going on.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure she would be flattered by the comparison.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so I'm trying to see what else is going on. Can you do the zoom out again for a moment? Oh, she's got big X's on the boots. That's a fun way to put the X-Men kind of flair on her.
Mm-hmm.
And she's got kind of another X shape in the white portion of the top of her outfit, too. And on the back, yeah, they kind of just keep the motif going on here, which is a really fun idea.
The X-Men know what they're about.
Yeah, and like I mean, it depends on which version of X-Men and stuff, and like usually there ends up being some kind of standard X-Men logo or outfit and stuff, but they definitely went with an X-Men motif without actually having to use the logo, which I think really freed up the design for other things without having to stick to a particular color palette. And it looks like they had a ball with it, and yeah, it's kind of a fun bit of scale even from the front, because there's like tiny X's on the wrist, medium for the boots, and then like the big one on the front of the outfit. I love the sparkles on the accents for that ice effect, which is like both like icy but also like jewelry, because she's supposed to be like really pretty and really refined.
Yeah, and how much do you know about Emma Frost?
She has ice powers?
Nope, she does not. She has diamond skin powers, in addition to being a powerful psychic. So that's not actually ice, that's diamond.
Diamond. Dang, the name threw me off all these years. It works like 90% of the time with these guys. She's like one of those like ones like, oh, she just has ice powers, and they go, diamonds, they're just blown away. Okay, so yeah, I was thinking ice, but she has a particle. She creates the particle effect, but it's got more of like a fractal shape to it. But you know, being ice being also a mineral, and diamonds being a mineral, I can see why I can make that mix up with the name and everything. I love the colors though. That's just like, that's not even like a color harmony thing. That's a let's look at some iridescence thing and pick up the colors out of the iridescence.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just it's a surface treatment. And iridescent is kind of interesting if you try to paint it, because you know, you have the light hitting an object and then it's kind of refracting that light to get that gradient. And then you kind of get to really play around with how much of what color you put where. I'm trying to think what they did here to do that, because there's a lot of layers on that. Because there's like one yellow, purple, blue gradient, and then they have the surface geometry to give it some of the shine, but there's like some teal and color changes on the purple and teal spot. Oh, and there's even like a flash of orange on the purple I just saw when she was in her animation. That's some pretty high attention to detail. I don't think they had to go that far. You see like it turns violet, and then there's like a little bit of red, orange and stuff, and that bright flash. That's pretty attentive. Someone over there is doing some overtime hours or something. They need to calm down a little. Then I like the white too here. I think it's like a cool white. So it's like a little bit blue-gray, then, toned up all the way to a pretty light color. So.
Oh yeah, this is the third of 3 white and blue blonde white women.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that one. That's not my problem. I wasn't the art director on this one. But I was just more making a comment on like the type of colors they're choosing for the outfit. There's a little bit of the blue they chose is kind of like right in the middle of the hue. They didn't tone it towards purple, and they didn't tone it towards teal until they started doing some of their accents, where the teal is more of like a greenish color added to the blue if you're looking at a color wheel.
Mm-hmm.
So you go more warmer for blue, you get teal. If you go colder, you're gonna get more like a purple, dark blues. For a moment I thought she only had the accents on the middle of the dress and the shoulders, but now I just realized there's a tiny bit on the bottom of the dress too, in like really small scale. And then I love that purple it's showing on that blue stripe too. Some texture patch on the side. But that texture patch it got the practical use of cutting the X shape out of the front, because if it wasn't there, it wouldn't quite be as strong. Because it's like, the X shape, and they want you to pay attention. I want to see the back of the coattails for a moment, because there's a bit of a different surface treatment on it. Because it's got like a sequin particle on it. Very cool.
Stop that, Emma. We're trying to look at your ass.
Well, they are pretty cool coattails, and like there's actually an extra detail which is tying in that side mesh too, because it's the same pattern. So you don't have a singular pattern to stand out. It's like repeated in another element, even though it's way more subtle because it's like this white shine instead of gray lines. But that's just a way of creating some variety, but keeping it a bit harmonious by making sure it's in the other parts of the outfit. Which I just realized it's in the pauldrons too, but it's iridescent up there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You say they're just tying it all together. I love the outfits. There's like looks like there's 10 majillion things going on, but it's just really tightly controlled by using their.
She's got an X on her choker too.
Yeah, but it's just tightly controlled art design. Because they're contrasting texture with the non-textured bits. Color scheme is pretty sparse except for the iridescent, but that just gives it a little bit of punch because everything else is so together and samey. So you got lots of white, lots of that blue that they could just kind of pick and choose where they want to put some accents at that point. And you just gotta love the extra paint strokes they throw in everywhere. I see a few in the white areas, especially on the upper part of her back. It's like plainer. There's like a little bit of a warm and cold brush stroke on the bottom of the dress before it transitions to that other material, but there's a lot brighter versions of it on the top. And then just a little hint of silver accents and just enough to tie everything together.
I like that she's got a big stripe of pink right at the bottom of the triangle. Between her coattails.
Yeah. I think I said red, but that's just because that's what I think as an artist. I was like, oh, I gotta pick red and set the opacity down to like 3% and then build it up, so it's like just a little hint. If you have to do it in real paints, that's just like, putting a tiny bit of color in your paints and hoping you didn't put too much in. The earrings are pretty cool too, although they're a little covered by the hair, but they match the aesthetic of the outfit. I love the little highlights of pink and blue in the hair too. Kind of fits the iridescent color scheme too, because the iridescent is also like yellow, purple, blue. So that kind of makes her hair kind of match that.
The one thing I really, really don't like about this costume is the haircut.
I like it because it's pretty different and it's like very shapy, which I think it matches with like how spiky the pauldrons are and the other accents. But I could see it being a personal preference.
Yeah.
Because it's like, that's one of those haircuts, like, it doesn't match with everybody.
In the comics, she's got long flowing hair that goes a long way down her back. And people were expecting that. And I honestly agree that it looks better than this. But this is what we got.
Yeah, I think it's because the long and flowing was going to be a little more wild. And they just wanted to do, like, prim and proper. And I think that's their solution to that. That they could have done, like, a styled up long hair or something that still was controlled. I wish I knew more about the character because she definitely has a lot of it, even when you get past the whole like sex appeal part of it. Because she, you know, got this confident stance, and she looks very like in control of herself, and like everything about the outfit too feels like very I'm in control. Like, you know, order is the word I was looking for. Very ordered.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
The other thing they changed is that she's stick thin in the comics. She's very thin. She's very straight, and she does not have massive hips as wide as her shoulders.
Time travel goes straight through the thought ties.
God, look at that. She's got jiggle physics on her thighs.
Yeah, she's also got like very muscular thighs. Like it has the muscle groups in there. Because if you're like paying attention to all little lines and details, because there's like one muscle that comes out of your leg on the side that makes this big groove. So some artists who draw a bit more realistically, they'll draw that groove in the top of the thighs, and then most of the rest of the thigh is pretty smooth until we get to like the knees and stuff. But there's like this big line that's a huge muscle group. I just love the material on this outfit. It's really fun. Should we look at a new one?
Yeah. Let's go through her recolors first.
Okay.
Okay, so first is her $6 recolor.
Ooh. Flip back for 1 second. I want to see something when she's facing forward. And then flip to the other one. Yeah, it is a recolor, but it was really interesting because I think the white to dark blue almost made it look a little different than it actually is. Yeah, because they don't have the silver accents and they're black now, so it kind of changes the silhouette of the shapes that are made. Like the silver matches in with the white too, but like the silver was dark enough to stand out a little. So it kind of like, especially at the back of the outfit, that line that cuts off those two materials, like that's really closer in value. So it changed the shape to more like one shape versus the other outfit where it's a little bit of a divide because the grays are slightly different.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Oh, and the diamonds are now very crystally, but still having that lovely rainbow effect. That must be... I'm not a 3D modeler, but I'm thinking that must be like a texture, and when it hits a certain angle, it like kind of like flies across there. That's textured in that really bright saturated color.
Yeah, that's got to be something very complex.
Because you can do a with alpha channels, I think is what it's called, where it's like whether you see it or not, or how opaque it is or see-through. So you can set things to be like not there, and then whenever your conditions you programmed it for happen, it'll just pop in. But that is just really good work on the material on that. Very impressive.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a lovely shade of blue. You can't go wrong with that. It's like navy blue, but a little bit desaturated, and I love to use this color of blue in my own illustrations quite a lot because it's just like really fun to build off of. Really dark and moody, so you can go a little bit darker, and you can do really poppy with light colors. Really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the other green color?
Second recolor. So the announcer and general like mascot of this game is Galacta, Galactus's daughter, who has a very particular color scheme that she applies to characters that get Twitch drop skins. And it's this one.
I'm surprised I didn't use the brighter violet as the main color on this one. Because I think I have seen pictures of Galacta and Galactus in general, and it's like, that's like a dark blue purple, and like most of their colors for those characters are more like bright magenta purple, or if it doesn't get to magenta, it's still like middle of the road purple. And they kept the blue, kind of blue crystals from the other outfit.
I do like this shade of purple on her, though.
I was just thinking if it was going to be that, to invoke that idea of that character, like I would have had the majority color be that brighter magenta purple. But that's just me. It's still pretty nice looking. But
I like the gradient it's got on her back.
Yeah. There's something about it bothering me, though. I'm trying to figure out what it is. This is like a very neon kind of color scheme that you see if someone's going to do something to look kind of like cyber future black light type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the teal is really
The
high.
teal is weird.
Yeah, like it's really high key compared to the purples. Because we're kind of getting, like, the blue is like a blue violet, and then we have red violet, and then the other blue color is one with more green in it for some reason. I think they could have just went with a light blue like her lipstick. I think that would have looked really good. And fit with the other purples a bit better. Or they could have just kept the regular diamond effect, but I don't know. Yeah, I wish I could describe better what is kind of bothering me about it, but I think it is just a little bit of a color palette. But it's not off by a lot. I think it's just a slight adjustment that I would make personally. But some people are really into the kind of color schemes that are really bright, bombastic, and clash just a little bit. Like, there's a whole people that just draw in that style, and it could be really fun to look at. So someone who likes that kind of color palette would probably really love this outfit. I kind of want to see her coattails, because I saw it on the last outfit. I noticed it a little late that there is a gradient on it. And I didn't notice that at all in the white outfit. I don't know if it's not on the white outfit.
We can check.
But it's a really nice little detail. Yeah, it's not really on the white outfit.
It's got a fade in of pale color at the bottom, but it's not a
Yeah.
shaded gradient.
It's not really a full color change. I think there's a little bit there, but it's really subtle. Whereas like this one and the other blue one had like a full change of color. This one goes again with the green blue. I know, right? That's so weird. I love the nails are painted too, though.
Yeah, I think you're right. The teal doesn't fit at all.
Yeah. I think something in a neutral blue would have been cool, like light blue, but maybe like desaturated a little bit. But I'd have to look at Galacta and maybe make some different decisions, because I kind of forgot. I know it's mostly purple, but I kind of forgot the rest of the colors in her outfit. All right, should we see what's next?
Okay, this is the Season 2 Ranked Grind Reward skin, if you made it to Gold 3 or above. It's the peanut butter and jelly skin.
Peanut butter jelly time.
It's supposed to be gold and purple, but
Gold?
Yeah, no.
How did they get the gold to match her hair color? Is her hair color normally that yellow? I thought it was brighter.
It's...
Trying to decide, is it the same? It is the same. It's just I think in the combination with everything else it changes. Which is like a thing that happens, is that colors are relative to each other. So there's actually tricks you can do where if you put like one color next to a really saturated color and then put that same color next to a dull color, on the dull background the color will appear bright and saturated, and on the saturated background it'll appear dull and desaturated. And it's just because it's associated with the colors that we see next to it. Mm-hmm. So we've made her outfit hair colored and they picked the perfect color of purple to represent grape jelly. Oh man, and they know how to do surface material. What happened? Because I've seen them do metallics and stuff on some of the armors and other outfits.
Nobody in the community likes this skin.
Because they could have pulled like that satin shine on that same color and it probably would at least looked like it was, you know, fancy. I kind of dig the brown, but probably not the best with the other color choices.
It's very chocolate brown, and I do like it. It's just that it doesn't fit with anything else on the skin.
Yeah. She has a different back emblem on this outfit?
Yeah, the Hellfire Gala symbol.
Oh, okay. So that's like thinking that's a little different. Even that feels kind of pasted on compared to their usual work, though, doesn't it? Like, look how it's messing with the purple. Not that I want to like say that people weren't working. Maybe they just had a bad day. But it feels like there's a shadow on all the other lines from where they use the base. And then there's not the same shadow work on that emblem. You see what I mean? Like there's a dark line that's missing. And there's like a part where it kind of clips over here that doesn't look like it should. Like it's misaligned. Like I would have just like moved the brown line so they matched up on the corners or something. Like And that's one of those tangent things where, like, it's not misaligned enough to look like it's on purpose, and it's not aligned enough to be satisfying. How strange. And, like, they have a gold material on the... Well, that was on the base outfit anyway. They had gold surface handling on the trim. So it's present there. So you get a bit of gold shine. Oh, gosh. And there's silver on the necklace. You don't mix your silvers and golds. She's supposed to be a fancy lady. She's supposed to know these things. That's the thing. Like, if you're wearing gold jewelry and stuff, you don't mix, like, silver earrings or whatever. You have to put gold earrings with gold necklace and so on. So many faux pas in this one. Gosh. It really is quite the mess.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, like, okay, how do we fix it now?
Mm-hmm.
Because they did do like they do on some of the other outfits where it's desaturated on the boots and more saturated towards the top. But gosh, I think we just have to get rid of that yellow. But it's supposed to be golden diamond.
Here's the question: is this better or worse than the pink tie?
Oh no! I mean, at least he could take off the pink tie, but at least it, looks good from other angles. And his outfit was generally still pretty good on the Hulk as a sort of gangster character. It's just the color scheme on that one piece. But this is like the whole ensemble. Nothing is good here. Even the purple streaks in the hair are just kind of meh. And like purple and yellow, I believe, are complementary colors, which usually will give you some punch, but not in this out.
Not case. At this level of saturation and shading, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like how to fix. So if we're going with the same theme, I think I would just straight up lose the purple unless there's some reason to have it, and maybe go maybe brighter on the outfit with the yellow, so it's not the same color as their hair. Mm-hmm. Just like maybe even a pastel yellow, and then I would do like orange with like peach on the where the purple accents are, because it says golden diamond, so I'm thinking like diamonds, when they do have color at all, it's like usually pretty subtle. So like the yellow diamond is like, it's still crystal clear see-through, but it has that color to it. So I would use the pastels and the peach to kind of invoke the whiteness of the diamond while still kind of fitting like this golden sun theme, and the sun's supposed to be warm and red too, so having more oranges and a little bit of punches of red and stuff, I think would have been great. And I think with that, you probably could leave the crystal texture the way it is. There is a bit of teal and blue in it, and I don't know sure if that's baked in, but you could do the teal and like maybe swap it for a red, which would look kind of cool, I think, like some red shine instead of teal, like like fiery. Mm-hmm. That's how I would fix this outfit. And then like we got to get rid of the yellow eyeshadow too, because that's just not happening either.
Oh god, I didn't notice she had yellow eyeshadow. Why would you do that?
Like I said, like a nice peach or something. I think the lipstick is about the only thing that's kind of nice here. That's a nice color on her, but and the nails being yellow, I don't think we'd like that either. That one I would might surface treat to look gold with some shine, because it is called golden diamond. So that's what I would go with if I was to fix it. And she says, so I think she agrees.
All right, are you ready for her horniest? Well, are you ready for her visually horniest costume?
Oh, okay. We have spiritually horny and visually horny, huh?
Yes. Spiritually horny will come after.
Okay. Wow. This is why parents need to check what their kids are playing. Yeehaw, though. Let's see, the talk like is, well, don't worry, darling. Emma's here to save the day. Oh, gosh.
You want to know the wild thing about this costume?
What's the wild thing?
That big, unclothed middle torso section of her body serves a gameplay purpose.
Oh, no.
She has a mechanic where she turns into diamond and her skin changes color. That is a big, blank, bright canvas for you to see that she's gone into diamond form. It kind of appalls me that it's a sensible design decision.
Oh, sensible, if that's what you want to see. And
we all know why it's there, but it does serve a gameplay purpose.
This one's actually a really good one, though.
Oh, yeah.
I love the different treatments of the gem because they changed the middle triangle gem to like a huge one, and there's like a effect on her earrings that gives it like a it's like a camera effect. Like if you're taking a picture with a camera and the way the light would refract and create these, not this is sparkles, but you turned her while I was talking, but there's this blue glow on the earrings. You see how it's like a halo?
Mm-hmm.
So like that's like imitating more like a photo film thing, but it makes them look like they're really transparent and picking up a lot of light, and it's like reflecting back to the camera. And I love the idea of changing up the pauldron area on her shoulders. So now instead of we got in these big like chunks of crystal, it's like a more of a like a bedazzled outfit, which fits like this kind of punk theme, leather theme going on. I also like someone said like boob window, and they're just like, excuse me, out of my way.
Window boob.
This is more like a boob door. And then they're like, are you done with the cutouts? No. And then they went on to the thighs. With these huge...
They had to work X's into the design somewhere.
Somewhere. Gee, how could we manage? And then stockings underneath because,
Yeah, this is a horny skin. Like it's nakedly a horny skin. There's no excuse for it beyond it's a horny skin that they made to sell to horny people.
I want to see what
it does look cool though.
Yeah, I was wanting to see what this gold accent that's kind of under the jacket is doing, because it starts at the top and then kind of wraps under the jacket and then kind of like encloses the rib cage some more. But then there's like another piece, and I was going to see if that continued on the back. Oh, there's like the back of the outfit's another X with some diamonds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it was just like kind of a double repetition accent on the side. Gosh, this is fun. There's like different densities of where they put the diamonds too, because they're keeping it everywhere, but they have like a ring on the arms of that jacket to make it look like it has like a glove. Her diamond ring is an X. I don't know what the other one is. It's just maybe double diamonds. But I like the X ring. And she finally, in this one, pulls off the yellow eyeshadow and the yellow nails. Why, you may ask? Because there's these beautiful yellow gold accents that match it, and I think the nails do have a surface material on it to make them shiny.
Also, it's a different yellow from the ranked skin. It's brighter, it's more saturated, it's ironically more golden.
Yeah, ironically.
The ranked skin had the yellow fingernails and eyeshadow were more tan. This is bright yellow.
And then when we're talking like the yellow accent, since their outfit isn't 90% yellow, it lets the nails pop out from the outfit, because you're like, oh, they're the only part on her whole entire arm that's yellow, because there's no yellow jewelry or anything. She's not mixing silver, if you notice. It's all diamond and gold. And the lipstick is also dark on here, but doesn't have that kind of reddish tone to it. It's just like purely neutral.
Yeah, the peanut butter jelly costume's lipstick was chocolate brown. This is black.
Yeah, it's kind of funny to do this one right after the other one because they share a couple.
It's everything wrong with the other costume is right about this one, right?
Yeah. Let's see the boots a bit and the tails of the coat and everything. Oh, tiny little gold accents. Because, like, her boots on her regular outfit are kind of huge, and there's, like, these huge diamonds on it. So, yeah, they're really playing around with some scale. And they keep the whole diamond thing feels bombastic and top-heavy on this one, because there is no little accents on the lower half, which I love, because it's, like, there's a lot to look at with the skin and everything open on this outfit.
and the leggings are kind of sequiny. If you see, they're sparkly, shiny.
I think that might be the sheer, because it's if you have stockings, they have, when you stretch them out, they have kind of a satin look to it, which is a lot of attention to detail. Really, like, oh, she's wearing satin stockings. What is she holding them up with though? Like, she must have like the glue or tape of the century for those to not slide down. Truly, she is too powerful and to be feared by both men and women and everyone else on Earth. But yeah, and then like a nice little fun gold stripe on that coat. That didn't particularly need to be there, but it creates this fun dynamic with she's got kind of like the wings of on the back of the jacket that are like pointing to the line, so it creates this line of action that, you know, it would be really top heavy, but this makes her movie with the animation, so we almost have like a tail to follow almost for her whole character. They even put in darts, I think. I don't know if I'm using the right fashion term, but there's like some accents on the way that back of that coat is sewn that are shining right now, and they're their own different material. But that kind of reminds me of like some fancier jackets where they cut out certain parts of it and then resew it so that it's more form-fitting, or that it lays different.
I'm learning a lot about fashion today.
Me is like, I don't know the correct fashion term.
I'm just sitting here with question marks around my head.
Riveted. Yeah, and like even they have a few different materials, because like you can have a leather jacket and then they're like messing with material because there's like these padded leather sections too. Like they have it on right on her shoulders, and then they repeat it again on her gloves to make like armor, gauntlet, glove, which is really amusing to me because it feels like opera gloves where they go up really high, but it's not even a glove. It's just they designed the diamonds and the textures around it to you look at it and you're like, oh, glove. When it's really just part of this whole sleeve of everything. It's one piece. And then I was going to see, the bottom of the coat is so fun too. They just did a huge bedazzle thing, which is very punky. Because it kind of reminds me of how people put metal spikes on stuff, because it's kind of the same arrangements of like squares and things. And it's just covering the tails of her coat. And I think they even played with it a bit more, because they're like, all right, she normally has the 2 coat tails, which they could have totally done because a lot of coats are built that way. Mm-hmm. But they're like, nah, let's do 3. Which I think works with that gold stripe idea a lot better. And it just really feels fun for this outfit. It's like a totally unique, bespoke jacket. Oh, and they have more gold accent on the backs of the shoes, too.
Yeah, the soles and heels.
I think the shoes have a different surface treatment, too, because there's like a texture on it that's like slightly sparkly.
Sadly, I can't zoom in on her feet. Sadly, for many horny people, I can't zoom in on her feet.
That's it. We're throwing you out the window. I mean the entire boot. You maniac. But the boots...
I'm not the maniac. I'm not into it.
The boots themselves have like this jewel texture. Like if you turn it to her boots, where you can see the fronts too. Because I just realized it's on the whole thing. It's like a rock shine texture, like mica.
Yeah.
Which really is kind of a fun idea, because like you said, her powers are diamond powers, so it's adding more of a mineral texture. How can they make such a horny design and still have such an attention to detail? They're like, like, really, honestly.
If we're going to do this, we're going to do it right.
Like the integrity, the dedication. You didn't have to go that hard. You can calm down a little. It's already good. They're like, no, the stockings must be satin. They must be sheer. I noticed on her first design, there's a little bit of a green tint to the end of her hair, which I just kind of took as a way to like bring some more of that blue from the outfit in. But it's really evident on that costume too, the Revolution one.
Oh yeah, with her weird swoosh.
Yeah, where like they seem to play it up a bit more, but it's kind of an interesting choice. But I don't hate it because it gives a little bit of interest. But it's also just like green, weird.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think of it when she's just like kind of the stereotypical blonde arch type. All right, I like this one outfit a lot, even though it is clearly extremely horny.
Yeah.
But I just love the accents on the jacket. I would probably
they made it interesting, not just horny. They made it interesting.
I would totally wear the jacket. I'm not sure I could bring off the rest of the outfit. Okay.
All right, last skin.
Last one.
This one's horny in spirit.
Okay. Oh.
This is her with the Phoenix Force, and you'll see what I'm talking about with horny in spirit when we get to the MVP associated with this. Okay.
So we got boob libido and a lot of thigh, with a thigh cut out. But I was just thinking how I was saying about putting orange and stuff on the peanut butter outfit, and I was thinking like, hey, it looks great. I was right. I love the extra effect of adding it on to her eyes as well.
Yeah.
Which this is like an interesting take, because before they've really established as blue as her color, especially the diamonds and stuff. So here they're kind of like really playing around without that color scheme at all. There's like a little bit in the hair, but I think that's just a nice punch against all those warm colors. It's just like a little treat, like a little sugar on top. Yeah.
It's a 2D texture, I think.
For
The fire, I mean.
Fire. Yeah, they can do a lot of cool stuff with 2D textures and putting them on like a 3D geometry, because they can basically like curve a 2D texture, or they can tell the 2D texture to follow the camera, so it's like never actually tilted. Like they can do a lot of fun stuff nowadays that 3D modelers can do, and they're really awesome with it. There's even like, it's like there's even a little bit on her front of her outfit on the edges too. I saw it on the front, but I didn't realize it extended that far. Man, I'm trying to figure out what to point out first as far as how this outfit works, because it's pretty nice, but it's also pretty simple compared to some of the other ones. But clearly there's a big, bright, saturated focal point on the front with the phoenix, and it's in a fun shape. Which, let's talk about shape a little bit, because I haven't done a micro talk on something. So it's a symmetrical design. You got the bird head is the only asymmetrical part of it, pretty much, but it's so tiny it doesn't really like bring a lot of attention to it.
It probably digs into her boob though, right?
None of these outfits are practical unless you too can have diamond skin. But it's clearly like a 3D piece too, because the wings are like sitting on it almost like a metal or armor or something, but it's on fire, so it's magical or of some time. Supernatural armor. But I was going to talk about its artistic qualities, because we have some round shapes with the wings, and they're playing a lot with curves. But they're,
of which she has many.
I'm gonna quit talking if you keep doing this. So we got curved lines versus straights is kind of a way to create interest when you're trying to do a design. So they do the curved wings, right? And then they curve the bottoms, but on the top, instead of doing like a curve for the top of the arm of the wing, they go straight line, up, straight line, and then they only curve when they get to the tip of the wing. And then they do some repetition 3 times. And then for the bottom, we go back to curves for the tail, but now they're like kind of going downwards. But then there's another point for like that'd be like a triangle shape. And you have triangles, squares, and circles for playing with lines and different shapes. And the way you can organize them all is and contrast them is again about proportion, how much you use each one. And so this is just a nice contrast of using those different lines to make a engaging design. And also it's like clearly made to fit on her body, so they're like using the wings as like boob cups. You know,
yeah.
Her phoenix bra, beware. That had to cost a fortune. And then since they want to keep all that bright fire color, they're gonna do the gold accents, but they're really, really muted on here, which I love muted gold. It's fun to play around with when you have bright colors around. But even as far as like picking a color of gold to use, you'll pick some shade of yellow or orange generally. It's usually yellow. And you can really punch down the saturation so that you can punch up the shininess later.
And unlike the peanut butter, it's metallic and shiny.
It's actually metallic. Yeah, it's like nearly the same color yellow, but if they just made it metallic, they would have had a much better thing going on. And then what I liked is that they did the gem pink to go with the whole red warm color scheme. And to keep the pinks going in the outfit, she has like some fabric on her arms where it would normally be skin. But they wanted to bring some of that pink in, and there's a tiny accent of it on the ends of her hands.
And her coattails.
Oh, do her coattails? Oh, and there's animated coattails too.
Yep, they're on fire.
Yeah. So like that pink is like in only certain parts of the design, but it really creates like a nice flow, because you're like, oh, gem, arms, hand, so tiny, and they're like coattails, and then you just kind of, your eye kind of follows through the design with just that color. You also get a lot of play on lines, because you have like the big like sunburst thing that goes up into the phoenix. The whole gold section makes it feel like it's one section flying up. The gold matches with the pauldrons, which also are repeating that feathery motif.
And rule.
Rule. What's the back of those pauldrons look like? So it comes up into a collar, and there's like a whole back piece. That makes it feel even cooler, because the back piece is like coming up like they're actual wings.
Mm-hmm.
I'm stealing this idea. This is cool. So they're using like another like shape, and there's another bird repeated in the motif on that section too. It's just a little more abstract. That one they didn't use as many curves, but I think they're wanting you to like look at the wings as the curved part, and then they're using a lot of angles on the bottom. And then they're repeating gold on the gloves and giving them some interest. I love how they add lots of extra lines, and that's like a pattern thing. So they're like pattern, pattern, pattern. But to make sure that pattern doesn't like destroy the whole flow of the like the bigger picture of the gold accents, they draw the pattern and then they make it as similar in value or near similar in value as they can. So you got like these beautiful lines on the dress. The cutout like goes down and follows her rib cage. And like the gloves have a couple lines to kind of separate the space out a bit. So they can make these really fun filigree accents, but then they don't feel too plain by not having a bunch of empty space too. Let's look at the back of the coat tail a bit more. Oh, it's cool. It's got like another kind of feather wing shape because they're using kind of like a curved edge on the ends of those. They even put some of the texture on the back too, and they made it like the ends are on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Because they added like more, and it's asymmetrical, so it feels like it's actually burning. Very cool. And then, the boots are pretty complicated compared to the gauntlets.
They have the same thing going on as the shoulder length gloves do. Like if you take a look at that 3 spikes of gold, it's just like in several places the boots have that going on.
But it's a little bit different because the ones on the arms are very round. And then when they went to the boots, they went like straight line, angle, curve.
Mm-hmm.
And then they create this repeating pattern. Oh, and then they use another line to kind of section off the boots above the knee. And then they kind of tuck their lines from that repeating gold accent down into the boot. Where's the one in the middle of her leg go? Does it go wrap around to the back?
Yeah.
Oh, it wraps around itself and makes a circle. I was just trying to figure out where they put all the lines. Because they did a circle, but like the one that's kind of in the front of her leg here, if you turn, you can see it right there too, by the knee where it's tucked into the boot. Which is kind of interesting, so that they don't go around and around twice. They go around and then they do one tuck into the boot, which I think is just an idea of like trying to lead your eye down a bit. Because if it was like 2 rings, then maybe it's just a little too repetitive. Is maybe what they're going to. Because the leg's a huge like section, especially on this character where they beefed her up.
Mm-hmm.
And then we do the same thing on the boots, but there's no tuck in for those. Those ones are rings. And then cute little wing motifs on the boots. Those ones they kept really simple. But it's definitely wings. But I like that because I'm trying to compare it to like what they've done above with the Phoenix design and the back design. And like clearly,
Thank you for showing us, Emma.
and clearly they don't want that to detract from like some of the other interesting parts of the outfit. So they kept it just a little more subtle. I'm also starting to realize there's a bit of Art Deco going on here. Again.
Oh yeah, now that you mention it.
Yeah. Which Art Deco really loved to abstract even animals and stuff to these really shaped designs that are really flat in design. So like you would draw the flattest, most silhouette shape you could and then use your angles and curves in a very controlled way. And I haven't mentioned her gold floating bracelets there, but I think they're really fun.
I was waiting for you to talk about the bracelets.
You're just like, they're there. How can you not see them? I thought that was a really fun idea because I was talking about the accents on the boots and the gloves, and then they drop the accents so they can do these big bombastic bracelets because I think she's a character who probably uses her hands in fighting a lot because she seemed to have this same kind of motif on some of her other ones where like her hands were kind of emphasized.
In diamond mode, yeah, she punches and stuff.
Yeah, so it's this kind of a fun way to make the hands feel heavier than they actually are because now you have this big shape around the wrist, right? That must mean that's a really big, heavy thing because big things are heavy. Clearly, she will destroy us all. She even got like a little bit of shine on the nails. I think this is one case too where they didn't actually recolor the nails a different color. But they kept 2 very simple colors, so they were doing a very small color palette, which I think I really like on this one. Did they color her eyebrows on this too?
They are red, yes.
Yeah. Red with like a pink lipstick. So yeah, and that's again that peachy color. So you know, like it's just really controlled on certain colors, and then they have like lots of white, lots of gold, and there's nothing else to distract from that. It's just all really efficient. All right. I don't know if I can say more on this one, but it's just really pretty, and I'm still impressed with the design control, and the surface materials are insane in this game. It's kind of insane, actually, because I know it's like part of the game is like you want the characters to look cool so people want to play. But on the other hand, I've seen clips of the play style, and it's like they're like, "You win," and I'm like, "What happened?" There was like 5 bajillion things on screen. It's only slightly more understandable than watching an Overwatch clip. They're just like play of the game, and I'm just like, "Where happened?" But everyone's dead. Okay. I could sometimes usually tell what's happening in a clip for this game, but sometimes the chaos is really bad.
It is a pretty hectic game.
So just like, oh yeah, the chaos, and she has, you know, sheer satin stockings and metallics and crystals and mica glitter. I'm surprised we haven't run into someone that has like a shine on the eye makeup, because you can get glitter makeup too. Mm-hmm. They must think maybe it's too small, but I'm sure someone's going to take that as a challenge, and like the next character comes out, it's going to be glammed up.
All right, well, that's the costumes. Let's take a look at the MVPs.
All right.
Let's go back to her default. Here's her default MVP. Yep, you see the diamond skin.
Yeah. I like how she comes in all superhero, and then she's like, actually, I'm just going to choke you out. Like, I'm sorry, this is getting choked out.
Oh, actually, let me swap to this one and show you that MVP, so you can see just how effective that torso window is at conveying that she's in diamond form.
All right. Oh.
Yeah, right? I'm not crazy, right?
Yeah. Very cool.
All right, here's the actual MVP that goes with this costume. Actual moment from the comics where she was training.
I see. So she jumps off. The crystal effect is cool. I'm kind of not loving the lack of background, though. Like, it feels weird compared to some of the other MVPs we've seen. And not all of them have backgrounds, but I haven't really paid attention to that. But most of them do. And that one just feels like she's like in an empty space or something.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, because I love the design, but like I feel confused. And then you don't see her face most of the time because they're focusing on the clock. The only thing I really like is the landing and the throwaway, in my opinion. Also, it's like the least horny MVP for this design. It's like the art director walked in and like, what the hell did you make? Can I make the MVP? No.
All right, and for the Phoenix one, here's the horniness.
I had a feeling she was going to step on you.
Yep.
I just felt it in my soul. It was trying to be subtle, but it was like the subtlety of a moving truck.
Brick to the face.
Yeah. Like, you don't see that. Like I said, this one has backgrounds. I'm going to start paying attention to that now, I guess. But I guess maybe it's because that one was so sparse it became really obvious compared to the other ones. Let's look at some of the recolors, because I wanted to see at least the blue one. And I guess we have
in this?
Yeah, because I wanted to see how the crystal color compared to her effect of her diamond skin. Because the crystals on this one are a different color. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's like all silver. That's pretty. I mean, it looks good with the iridescent one too, but I thought it was interesting because her effect is very silver. There's a little bit of iridescence. Then I saw it a second time. Which, let's look at her regular color, because I think it does match with her regular. I'm going to pay attention this time. Yeah, it does match with her regular. It's just the iridescent effect looks a little more subtle, so it's more silvery, where they put a bunch of punchy color onto the outfit. And should we honor peanut butter jelly time?
Let's see it. Oh, that's ugly. Oh, that's so bad.
feel hungry, but for peanut butter and jelly, not for not for pretty women. Okay, you're gonna probably ask me which one was my favorite, huh?
Yes.
Hmm.
You seems to really like.
It's got. Sorry, I love punk culture at heart and goth culture at heart, so it was like, it's so nice. Even by pinup horny designs, it's still even pretty nice on that scale too. You know, like, it's just really nice. And I said I want the jacket, so yeah, clearly it's my favorite. She didn't have my favorite MVP though. I thought that one was a bit weak. I think, the original was okay, but I think the one for like cinematic and like interest, I think is probably the Phoenix one is the most interesting of the ones you can choose from. Just because, like, it's like, there's, I mean, there's obviously the kicks and stuff, but, like, there's stuff going on in the scenery, and you're like, bam, cool, pow, pose. Where the other one's like, what time is it? Oh, yeah, throw this away.
Yeah.
But her original's pretty cool because it does show off her powers really good. But I like the narrative on the Phoenix one the most, so I'm going to put that one as number one. Just by a slight margin.
All right, and before we're done, I'm going to show you one of her emotes. Where is it?
Ooh. Sorry, I got distracted by sparkly galaxy ball. Oh my goodness, that's great.
They meme quite a bit with special rewards. Wait till you see the Venom emote. That everyone who's watching this knows which Venom emote I'm talking about.
This was just extra funny with the outfit because it just feels like she's part of like some kind of oddball gangster movie. Like they're about to go on shenanigans and go do heists. Oh no, gosh. What do you think Emma as the heist role that she plays?
Oh, she's definitely like in Ocean's 11. She's the one who's talking to the casino owner, distracting him
With her assets.
among other things.
Among other things. Yeah, really fun character on this one though, and gosh, I'll probably keep gushing about all the designs on this game, but they did such a good job with everything, even when they are being a bit silly.
All right, well, that's Emma Frost. That'll be it for today. Tune in next time for
I am Groot.
the Plant Man himself. All right, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you for doing this with me, Heiko.
You're welcome. So, we'll see you later.
Bye, everybody.